Anyone who's ever owned a cat knows this expression. He's on a broomstick. He's a little witch's cat on a broomstick. I'm a cat person. I love cats. Hello everybody, it's Sylvie. Welcome or welcome back to Tarot Magpie. I hope you're doing all kinds of good. And I hope you are looking forward to this review. This is the Into the Void, the Black Cat Tarot. This is an upcoming Kickstarter deck for a reprint, and I was very generously sent a copy of this deck for review. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm going to walk you through the cards. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. And I'm of course going to give you all of the details. So I will begin with that. This deck was created by Alex of Cat Magic Collective. This deck will be a reprint. I believe the first edition was published in 2022, which is what I have a copy of. But she has let me know that everything about the physical aspects of the deck will be the same except for that print date. So what you see here is what you'll get in the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter will be live on, I believe, the 21st of September, but I will have all of that linked below, as well as all of Alex's details, Instagram, etc., where you can find her. And with that said, I'm going to get into this because this deck is really cute. Physical attributes of the deck. It is in this hard cover box with a lift-off lid. The yellow this is so cute. The yellow and the colour palette is really lovely. We have our 78 cards with yellow edges and a little white book. This is quite a straightforward little white book situation. It's got meanings of each of the cards with the names of each of the cats in the cards, which I think is a lovely touch. And it does follow the kind of tone of the deck, like it's not taking itself too seriously. And then we've got our suits. And then that's a little about the artist at the back, as well as a very cute black cat. I've never had an all black cat. We had a tuxedo cat when I was little. I don't really remember him too well. He was called Hamlet. So that is the guidebook. This is extremely lovely. I feel like, in case you don't know, now you know I am a cat person. These backs are, I think, absolutely incredible. And I won't lie, I was convinced by these backs before I actually saw any of the artwork. I really love these edges. And this is our full card. So I'm going to do a flip through, a walkthrough. Right, so this is our full card. I think it's very sweet. I like the butterfly. Our magician with all the elements, with the crystal ball, I think is quite cool for the magician. The High Priestess, our little pomegranates up top, the Empress. Yeah, there are 12 stars. I'm sure I counted those when I first got this, but for confirmation. And our Emperor, I like how these kind of mirror each other. They're a pair, but they're not identical. We've got our Empress is sort of in the flowers, and our Emperor is in something more like a cloud, I think. The Hierophant, how cute is this? We've got our little cats. He's sitting on the chair. The expressions of these cats, and honestly the expressiveness throughout the deck, is just really lovely. The Lovers, I think this is so sweet. The Chariot. Strength with a little mouse. The Hermit in his box. This is very much a deck of cats doing cat things. Like obviously we've got some in like headdresses and little bits of armor and things, but for the most part they're not anthropomorphic. They are more cat-like than anything else. Our Wheel of Fortune. The Justice. Like we've still got the symbols, we've got the scales, we've got the sword. the Hanged Cat, which I do think is quite funny. The Death. Temperance. The Devil. This is so cute with the little like vampire fangs on this one. The Tower. And I love this because this look of like, what on earth is going on, is very sweet. The Star, I just think this is lovely. I always think the Star card is lovely in pretty much any deck, but this one, definitely lovely. And the Moon. The Sun. This has got to be one of my favorite cards in the deck because it is so simple in composition, and like the color palette is the same the whole way through. It's just black, white, and yellow. But this is so expressive and manages to be really quite lifelike in very few lines and shapes. And that's true throughout the whole deck. The cats are expressed in all of their kind of feline glory with quite few lines, and like some of them are definitely a little bit more silly, goofy, but then some of them, like this is a person who knows cats in real life, and I think that comes through in the deck, and I definitely appreciate that. Judgment. This is so funny to me because if you've owned a cat, you know this. Why haven't you fed me? Even funnier when the bowl is still half full of food, which is what my cat would do. Right, the World. This is so sweet. Okay, and now we're onto our Wands suit. Ace of Wands with a cat toy thing. I like that, like reaching for something. That feels quite Ace of Wandsy. Like you've got to grasp the potential. It's being held out to you, but you've got to grab it. Two of Wands. Three of Wands. This is one of the illustrations where I think it has captured the essence of a cat in very simple line work, and it's really lovely. The Four of Wands. The Five of Wands. The Six of Wands. Seven of Wands. Eight of Wands. I think this is really nice. It's really effective. Nine of Wands. And the Ten of Wands. Right, our page. He's on a broomstick. He's a little witch's cat on a broomstick. It's lovely. The Knight of Wands. I think this is so cute. So yeah, the court cards are less like realistic because they've got cats in bits of chainmail and little collars and things, whereas the rest of the deck, the rest of the minors definitely is more cats doing cat things. The Queen of Wands. She is the black cat of the Queen of Wands. I love these sunflowers. I think this card's really pretty. And the King of Wands. All right, our Cups suit. This is so sweet. He's in a teacup. Two of Cups. They look exactly like cat. They're just, I really enjoy the line work in this deck. It's very skillful, I think. I'll keep saying it. It captures the essence of a cat in very few lines and very little detail, which, yeah, it's skillful. The Three of Cups. The Four of Cups. This is so real. This expression. Anyone who's ever owned a cat knows this expression. The Five of Cups. This is too funny because I've definitely seen my cat do this. The Six of Cups. It's a kitten and he's so sweet. The Seven of Cups. All of those choices. The Eight of Cups. I think this is lovely. The Nine. It's that slightly frenzied look in its eyes, which I do honestly much prefer to the kind of smug Nine of Cups we usually see. And the Ten of Cups, which is so sweet. Our Page, who's looking just like a little bit concerned, which feels very Page of Cups actually. The Knight of Cups. The Queen. And the King. I think this King of Cups is my favourite out of this court. Ace of Swords, we've just got the claws, which frankly with a cat could be a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe they're just playing, maybe they're going to try and take an eye out. Who knows? And that kind of potential for good and potential for bad actually does feel very swordsy, so that's quite nice. Two of Swords, the Three of Swords, the Four of Swords, having a cat nap after destroying the sofa, maybe. The Five of Swords. Oh, I knew a cat once. It was my stepbrother's cat that when it was a kitten and we'd let her out onto the patio and she would catch butterflies, bring them inside, but they weren't quite dead. So then we had these injured butterflies kind of flapping around the house and this feral kitten trying to catch them. The Six of Swords. I think this is really sweet. I love the fact the cat is like standing up. I think that's a more optimistic tone to the Six of Swords, maybe. A little bit more inquisitive. The Seven of Swords. The Eight of Swords. This is too funny. Because you know when a cat gets himself into a state and it is your fault and you do have to fix it, but no, you're not allowed to touch them. That's what this is giving me. Like you did in fact make this mess yourself. The Nine of Swords. The Ten of Swords. This is too funny. And there's our page, who is just so sweet. The Knight. The Queen of Swords. This is my significator card. And the King. I love this like windy cape looking thing. Right, and finally our Pentacles suit. That's our Ace. The Two of Pentacles. The Three. The Four of Pentacles. I love this. The Five of Pentacles. Six. The Seven of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles. The Nine. This is so pretty. I think this is such a pretty card. And again, it looks exactly like a cat. The Ten of Pentacles. Our Page. Knight. Queen, who is lovely. And finally, our King of Pentacles. You can see there's a lot of the symbols that we would associate with the Rider-Waite-Smith. Like we've got all these grapes in this King of Pentacles here, like the Rider-Waite-Smith, the King of Pentacles, has on his clothing. And it's definitely a simplified illustration. It's a minimal deck, but it does still have a lot of those kind of traditional Rider-Waite-Smith symbols scattered through it. Those glorious backs again. Right, so I don't know if you can see, but this edging has actually been holding up really quite well. And I've been using this, I've been shuffling it, and I'm not particularly gentle on my decks, but it's not really bowing, maybe like a little bit, but not really. And it's not yet anyway, it's not chipping. So the cardstock is really lovely, it feels really nice. It is 350 GSM art paper with a matte finish using eco-friendly inks. This finish is really nice. You can see it is picking up some of the light from my lights, but it's got a sheen. Sounds really nice. It's that really nice like swooshy matte that I like. And it doesn't collect fingerprints. Like I've been using this and it's not mucky and grimy. I'm so impressed with it. Anyhow, I like the cardstock. It's, what size are we? Are we a standard tarot size? I feel like it's. All right, so this is the Outgrow Yourself, which also is actually black and white and yellow. And I did these edges. And I think this is a standard size. And if we do a comparison, then I should have picked something that looked a bit different, but they are dead on the same size, so I think it's standard tarot size. And like, this is a little detail, but I really like how the corners aren't too rounded. Anyhow, it shuffles really nicely. I'm a clumsy shuffler. Alright, so it's not the most flexible of cardstock, but I don't really struggle to riffle shuffle it. I think it was a little bit stiffer when I first got it, but it's broken in quite nicely. And like I showed you, I don't think it's bowing or bending, maybe like a smidgen. I don't know if it's going to show up any more, like any differently on screen. Maybe it's bowing slightly. But as the description says, it's art paper rather than cardstock with a core to it, so I think that's to be expected, and it does shuffle really nicely. So the cardstock I enjoy. All of the production quality is really nice. As for actually reading with it, so as you can see, it is like I said, it's a simple minimalist style of deck. It's not heavy on the symbolism. We've got this extremely simple color palette, black backgrounds, white and yellow line work and details, and I have found that it reads like a Rider-Waite-Smith clone. So if you're familiar with a Rider-Waite-Smith, then you should have no problem reading with it, I don't think. It's quite to the point. It's quite black and white, funnily enough. I found that because there's not a lot of symbolism to get lost in, it kind of gives you your answer, and that's what you're getting out of it. The illustrations are so sweet. If you're a cat person, then I hope you know what I mean. I hope you get it. It's just delightful. They give it a little bit of personality. They give it a little bit, like it feels like it's got a personality. It feels unique. It feels like it's got its own voice and its own character, but it does that without really taking away from what I think of as a tarot. It doesn't take away from like the Rider-Waite-Smith. And in my opinion, and this is going to be very personal, it's cute without being overly cutesy or cheesy or like too cartoony, and that's entirely personal preference, but I love the art style. Like I've said 15 times, I think the line work is done very skillfully. I think it's very suggestive of a real cat and the kind of poses and positions that a real cat would be in, which I love. It does kind of speak to what cats are really like. Okay, I'm gonna pull a card, take a reading from the guidebook just to give you an overview of what the guidebook is like. It's small. It's a little white book or a little black cat book. It's a little white book. There's a little paragraph for each that give you kind of the essence of the card. If you're unfamiliar with the Rider-Waite-Smith, which this is very clearly based on, if you're new to tarot, I would have another resource. I wouldn't rely solely on this book. I don't think it gives you quite enough, especially with the fairly minimal artwork. I can't get over how much I love these backs. It's cute, but in a bold way, or in a, I don't know, it's got an attitude, it's got a personality. It's cute without being cutesy. I've been using this for quite a few readings that I've done for myself as I've been working through the Tarot Spreads yearbook, I think it's called. I've been working through that over the past many months, and recently I've been using this deck quite a lot for that. They're 3 or 4 card spreads, and the spreads themselves are quite pared back. They're quite open to interpretation. So I've been liking this deck for those readings because the questions are quite open, and then these cards are quite straightforward. That's a useful kind of deck to have. I've got a few like that are just quite grab and go, quite easy readers. And this is just lovely. So I'm going to pull a card. I've been stalked by the Death card recently, so it'll be a bit of a downer if it's that. The Eight of Cups. Alright, so as like a preamble to the suit, we've got the cups represent our internal emotions and intuitions, commonly known for representing feelings and our creative side, as well as our relationships and human connections. The suit of cups is also symbolic of flowing water due to its fluidity and changing states, ranging from a calm, slow blink to a raging, angry meow. Quite naturally, therefore, this deck represents cups as water bowls, food bowls, and cups of all shapes and sizes. So, our Eight of Cups. Luna dreams of another life. She has many bowls of food, but she still longs to leave her humans behind and find her own path. So it really is like a sentence or two for each card. And I think this is quite reminiscent of the Rider-Waite-Smith. Like, she has many bowls of food in the Eight of Cups. It's not that we dislike what we're leaving behind. It's just that it's maybe not as fulfilling as it once was, or it's something that we need to leave behind, but we don't necessarily want to. And I always think of how neatly the cups are stacked in the Rider-Waite-Smith Eight of Cups card, and here shows that this is something that we've thought about carefully. This is not a decision we've taken lightly, and I think that at least is reflected in this eight. So it's consistent with the Rider-Waite-Smith. It's not hard to read. It's delightful. I've not really been pairing this with anything. I've just kind of been using it on its own to get to know it, and I'm very glad that I have been. This is absolutely not going anywhere. This is definitely taking up the space in my collection that is for something a little bit lighter, but not in a soft and gentle way. This is kind of lighter in a it's not that serious way. Like if you were going to get advice from a cat, it would be like, please calm down and get me some dinner. And I feel like sometimes that's the advice I need to give myself. It's like, okay, you're thinking too hard. Find a warm blanket, find a patch of sunlight, find some yummy food. So this is that kind of deck. And yeah, I am extremely pleased to have this in my collection. If you are interested, I will link the Kickstarter below. I'm going to put this video up about a week before the Kickstarter launches, so you've got a little bit of time. Alright, so that is all of my thoughts on the Into the Void, the Black Cat Tarot. It's delightful. I'm a cat person. I love cats. Every day since I have moved out of my sister's house with her cat, I sit here and I think, God, I want a little cat. So I was thrilled to receive this deck because it's very, very accurate to my experience of cats. Anyhow, I will leave all the info in the description below if you're interested. If you want to go watch the Kickstarter, pre-save it, the artists' info and links and all that good stuff. And let me know if you are going to back this deck. Let me know if you're a cat lover. Don't let me know if you're a cat hater, because I simply don't want to hear it. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. I really appreciate it. Give me a like if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.